Hey everybody, Ben Sellen with eXp Realty here. Just wanted to reach out. If you haven't heard from me recently, it's because I'm really busy, and if we're not doing immediate business, it's kind of hard to get a hold of me. So I'm taking everybody in meetings, we're putting everybody on the schedule. I don't want to sound like I'm too busy for you. I am not. I just need to take care of current business. One of those things yesterday after the city council meeting, I was messaged by several people. I got phone calls and messages on here, and I watched part of the city council meeting that was 4.5 hours. I don't have time to watch all of it, but I did meet with a representative of the city, and I've spoken to a few people. And I think we should have an open dialogue about this. I am not involved in the city, in city politics, but I've realized that I'm becoming a public figure, and I can't be on city council at all. So there's no bias here. The only bias is I'm from Moses Lake, and I'm becoming a public figure, and people come to me, and really I want to see Moses Lake become prosperous in ways that it hasn't been before. But I was shown a projection, and the projection does not look good for Moses Lake in the next 5 years. And if something's not done about it soon, we're going to be in trouble. And all those programs that we really like my kids are homeschooled, and we really like the museum, we really like the rec center, we like the BMX track, we use the parks, and we use the library, we use all these facilities, we use the swimming pool. We don't want them to shut down. So maybe this can be an opportunity for people to maybe start a conversation about what we can do, instead of increasing taxes only. Maybe there's a better way to raise funds for the city besides just firing people. Instead of closing down the museum, do you have any ideas? I guess one idea that I came up with during our meeting, and I'm not going to tell you who I was meeting with because I don't know if I really have permission to discuss that with you, but I did see some numbers, and yeah, things need to change. I feel like some things need to be privatized. For example, there was a push, or there is a current interest by the YMCA to come in and set up a facility. If the Larson Recreational Center could be better run by a private organization like the YMCA, that might be a better way to do it, and it would save probably $1 million a year. So that's one thing that we could do. Our museum, we love the museum, but it's not producing nearly enough to stay open. And what are the costs involved? Well, employees. Do we want the museum to go away? No. Maybe more people should go down there and see what it is. There are exhibits from very talented and diverse artists that help the culture of Moses Lake, and that's one of the problems that we've always run into here. And correct me if I'm wrong. We don't want history to be replaced or erased. We want culture. We want access to a museum, and we want the museum to progressively get better, not worse, not cut back on. My proposal for that, and I'm only going to talk about my own ideas, would be to, have periodic auctions. There are exhibits that go into that museum every so often. Maybe we could go back in time and ask artists and contributors to that, to exhibits, to donate pieces that we can auction off to the community, and those funds can be used for it. Another thing might be to reallocate some of the funds. I know, I don't want to cannibalize different things in our community, but you know, maybe the library, who's got millions of dollars, they can take a portion of their taxes, their tax allocation, not enough to hurt them, but just a portion, and go towards the arts and towards our city's cultural events and things. It could be something like that. Maybe you can increase prices a little bit at the swimming pool so we don't have to shut down the swimming pool. You know, there are organizations that will privatize, you know, that will help take over some of these things that maybe the city, just like any government, is not really great at running a profitable business. It's just not designed to be a profitable business. Really, government is, if they get allocated money, they want to spend as much as they can, and that's just the nature of it. And I understand it. I don't think we should totally cut off the city from, you know, we want them to expand, we want better things. Maybe some of these parks, they kind of go against, you know, what are the rules? If you put in a new neighborhood, you need a park. Well, after a few years, the city takes over that park. The developer takes the park and gets it going, and then the city takes over. Maybe it shouldn't be like that. Maybe we should go back to the communities and vote. Do you want to have an HOA or delete this park? A lot of these parks are sitting empty. So here's some ideas. I want to see what you guys think. I think getting some donations and auctioning and doing a city auction periodically might be something that we could do to save our museum, which would be really awesome, because it's just a cultural cornerstone that it's really undervalued and underused, and it needs to be improved and expanded on if we can afford it. But how? There's always a question of how. And I don't know, many of you, if you're watching this, you probably feel like I do. We're just a part of the community. We want our city to be better. Let's figure out how we can get out of our current situation and without making things worse. Maybe privatize some of the services that the city has. Like the city has snow plows. When we could just privatize that and make a contract with a local contractor. It'd be better for the community if there was a you know, companies making bids for work done on the city. You know, if we can get competitive, that would be much better than having the city foot the bill. Generally, governments are wasteful because they want to spend as much money as they can. So I think we can navigate these waters. I know, based on a lot of comments and a lot of knee-jerk reactions, is to just blame city council for being bad. I think they want the best for Moses Lake, but they really are in a rock in a hard space, and they need some fresh ideas from us where we can offer them maybe easier solutions to, you know, meet these goals without sacrificing the stuff that we use as a community. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. If you have any ideas on improving what we have going on here without sacrificing, you know, without just scorched earth method. Hope everybody's doing great. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.